and welcome to the Papyrus Global National News Update. I am Christiana Babayo and here are today's top headlines. DSS arrests 5 suspects linked to Papiri school abduction, arms network. Federal government deploys fresh security reinforcements amid rising bandit attacks. Nigerian stock market begins transition to T1 settlement cycle amid capital market reforms. Tinubu administration defends economic reforms amid cost of living concerns. World Bank projects stronger growth for Nigeria in 2026, warns of inflation risks. Security agencies step up rescue operations amid rising bandit attacks in Northwest. Analysts warn of rising insecurity ahead of political season. Nigerian Air Force intensifies operations against insurgents in Northeast. Katsina communities raise alarm over unsafe highways amid rising kidnappings. Federal government reviews national security strategy amid rising abductions and public pressure. And now the news in details. The Department of State Services (DSS) has arrested 5 suspects, including foreign nationals from Niger Republic, over alleged involvement in an arms supply network linked to the Papiri school abduction in Niger State. Security sources say the suspects were apprehended in coordinated operations across northern Nigeria. A significant cache of weapons and ammunition were also recovered during the operation. The DSS says investigations are ongoing to dismantle the network and track remaining collaborators linked to the mass kidnapping incident. The federal government has deployed additional security reinforcements across parts of Katsina, Kaduna, and Niger states following a recent surge in bandit attacks along key corridors. Authorities say the move is aimed at strengthening military presence, protecting vulnerable communities, and securing major road networks frequently targeted by armed groups. Security agencies have also intensified joint operations and intelligence gathering in the affected areas. The government says the new measures are part of ongoing efforts to restore stability and ensure safer travel across the region. The Nigerian stock market has begun transitioning to a T1 settlement cycle as part of ongoing capital market reforms aimed at improving efficiency and reducing transaction delays. The move means that trades will now be settled within one business day instead of the previous longer cycle, aligning Nigeria's market with global best practices. Market regulators say the reform is expected to enhance liquidity, boost investor confidence, and strengthen overall competitiveness of the nation's capital markets. The Tinubu administration has defended its ongoing economic reforms, insisting that the policies are beginning to stabilize Nigeria's economy despite rising cost of living pressures affecting citizens. Government officials say key measures aimed at fiscal restructuring, exchange rate adjustments, and subsidy reforms are necessary to restore long-term economic growth and investor confidence. While acknowledging public hardship, authorities maintain that the reforms are already yielding positive macroeconomic indicators. The government has also pledged continued support for vulnerable households through targeted intervention programs. The World Bank has projected stronger economic growth for Nigeria in 2026, driven by improved reforms, increased investment inflows, and gradual recovery in key sectors of the economy. However, the global financial institution warned that persistent inflation remains a major risk that could affect household purchasing power and overall economic stability. It urged policymakers to sustain reforms, strengthen fiscal discipline, and address food and energy costs. The report says balancing growth with price stability will be critical for Nigeria's economic outlook. Security agencies have intensified operations across parts of the Northwest as banditry continues to disrupt farming communities, and rural livelihoods. Authorities say coordinated ground and air operations are targeting criminal hideouts in affected areas with a focus on rescuing kidnapped victims and restoring safety. The renewed efforts come amid growing concerns over repeated attacks on farmers during the ongoing agricultural season. Officials assure that operations will continue until normalcy is restored and criminal networks are significantly weakened in the region.
We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papyrus Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papyrus Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue.
Security analysts are raising fresh concerns over a possible escalation in bandit attacks ahead of the upcoming political season. They warn that recent incidents across several parts of the country suggest a worsening security trend that could affect voter participation, campaign activities, and rural stability. Experts are calling for stronger intelligence-led operations and improved coordination among security agencies to prevent further deterioration. They also urge government to address underlying drivers of insecurity, including poverty, arms proliferation, and weak rural security coverage. The Nigerian Air Force says it is continuing coordinated air and ground operations against insurgent groups in the northeast, with multiple casualties reportedly recorded. Military authorities say recent strikes targeted identified terrorist hideouts, logistic routes, and command locations as part of ongoing counter-insurgency efforts. The Air Force adds that operations are aimed at degrading the operational capacity of the groups and restoring stability to affected communities. Residents have been advised to remain vigilant as security operations intensify across the country. Communities in Katsina State have expressed growing alarm over the continued insecurity in major highways following repeated cases of kidnappings and armed ambushes. Residents say several key routes remain unsafe for travel, forcing motorists to either avoid certain routes or travel with heavy security escorts. The situation has disrupted trade, farming activities, and daily movement across affected areas. Local leaders are calling on security agencies to intensify patrol and restore safety along the highways to ease fears among travelers. The federal government has begun a review of its national security strategy following recent mass abductions and increasing public pressure for more decisive action against insecurity. Officials say the review will assess current operations, intelligence coordination, and resource deployment across troubled regions. The move comes as part of concerns grow over repeated attacks by armed groups in part of the northwest and north central. Government sources say new measures are expected to strengthen interagency collaboration and improve rapid response to security threats nationwide. And that brings us to the end of today's national news update. For continuous coverage and breaking developments, stay connected with the Papyrus Global Television at papyrusdaily.com. I am your host, Christiana Babayo. Thank you for watching.